Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Nirvaunaishtikim Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandana Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namaha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sakitam Vena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamani Dadati Sadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padikamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Vita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shundavari Vashdeshatani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratse Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we'll continue from where we think from Grasta, qualities of a Grasta. I'll just log in from the laptop. Mm. 8, 2, 7, 6, 7, 4, 3, 2. Eight, 7, 10. अभयम सत्वशम शुद्धिर ज्ञान योग व्यवस्थिति दान दानम दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तपार्जवम् अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधस्त्याग शान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्तम् मार्दवम् अचापलम् तेज क्षमा धृति शौचम् अद्रोहनातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदम् दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत. So we already read this translation yesterday, and I think first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I think fifth paragraph we have covered. It's like for a sannyasi or anyone who is aspiring to get out of the clutches of the material nature. This we have discussed, right? Looking towards material possessions and women for sense gratification, not even enjoying them, but just looking towards them with such a propensity is so condemned that he had better commit suicide before experiencing such illicit desires. So these are the processes for purification. Matlab, these are the strict rules and regulations for that particular ashram. Mm. This is eligibility for a person who is going back and back to God. Basically, Prabhupada translates sannyas as person who has nothing to do with the material world. So that is what is being discussed here. Yes. Jnana Yoga Avasthiti. I think this also we covered yesterday. No? Purification, engaging in the process of jnana, distributing Krishna consciousness. Even if one has accepted the renounced order of life without sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself fully in hearing from a bona fide spiritual master to cultivate knowledge. Sannyasi or one in the renounced order of life must be situated in fearlessness, sattva samshuddhi, jnana yoga. We discussed this yesterday. So these are the qualities of sannyasis. Yes. Next, the grastha. What are the qualities of the grastha? Yes, grastha's qualities. The next item is charity. Somebody can read this.
The next item is charity. Charity is meant for the householders. The householder should earn a livelihood by an honorable means and spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness for
How
the
much?
50%.
Those who are planning to become grasthas, please note it down. Okay. So not only for sannyasis and brahmacharis the rules are strict, even for grasthas the rules are not so simple. बट मोस्ट ऑफ हमारे प्रभु जी ऐसा कैसे होगा, इतना कैसे खर्च होगा, करो मत करो, फिर लटके रहो जीवन में. 50%. Again, 50% includes Krishna account. Look, what you spend for bhakti, everything can come in at 50%. Yeah. Yes, read
Thus,
for.
the householder should give in charity to institutional societies that are engaged in that way. Charity should be given to the right receiver. There are different kinds of charity, as will be explained later on. Charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in the mode of goodness is recommended by the scriptures, but charity in the mode of passion and ignorance is not recommended because it is simply a waste of money. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is charity in the mode of goodness.
So this charity thing, like once we come to Krishna consciousness, they from camps which we attend, whether it is Sankalpa, whether it is Spurti, whether it is Utkarsha, whether it is Nishta, so much of charity we accept, right? Oh, these people may not have money, they may not be able to pay. So, since the beginning of Krishna consciousness, we are accustomed to accepting charity. But along charity, what happens? It's like no pain, no gain. You have to pay the price. The person who is giving the charity, he has the intention. Oh, I want to give this charity for this cause. And along with the charity, there is the person who is giving the charity. Uh, it's not that he's a pure devotee or is a perfected person, or in the sense that he's also in this karmic chain of cycle of birth and death. Therefore, along with that money which a person gives, along with that his karma also comes for whatever cause. If he gives it for Krishna consciousness, yes, he will get a spiritual benefit, and whatever karma is there, that gets purified. The whole thing of giving charity is whenever a grihastha works somewhere, irrespective of what activity it is, if it is he's working in an area where it is breaking of real principles, again he is like, Prabhuji, I don't know if I leave this job whether I'll get job or not. Yeah, that particular money which comes from that particular source will carry that particular karma, karmic reaction. Therefore, nothing comes for free. There's a price we have to pay. So anything we take it free, we have to give back the our tapobala, our practice of Krishna consciousness, whatever sadhana you're doing, whatever elevation you have done, you have to give some part of that to that person who's giving that charity. So that is how it works traditionally in Varnashram. And we are not beyond Varnashram. As we have discussed, the pure devotional platform is something which starts with Drad Shraddha. The person who is in Drad Shraddha, he knows he has full conviction. Oh, Krishna will purify this karma. I don't have issue because of dependence on Krishna. We may tell that, but our activity doesn't match with that because our Dhrad Shraddha is not there. Or at least I am telling about myself, I don't know about all of you. So, when charity is given, what happens is whatever impure activities knowingly and unknowingly one has done for the maintenance of the family, that gets purified. Generally, the impure activities are bad karmic reactions that become an obstacle for the practice of Krishna consciousness. Why? What happens with the the results of the bad activities of the karmic reaction of the past life? The anarthas, kama karma beach, that gets activated. The lust increases, anger increases, greed increases, pride, illusion, all these things. So for that, one has to purify it. And for that, the charity is recommended. So charity has to be given in the right mood, to the right person, for the anticipation of that. Yes, whatever we are doing this activity, whatever way means I'm earning money, let this not become an obstacle for practice of bhakti. So we have to become a Dena bank, not Lena bank. Mhm. We have to give, and forgive also. And the giving, but most of the time what happens? It's so difficult to give. चल जाते तो चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ ना, भागवतम पढ़ रहा हूँ ना, ये कर रहा हूँ ना, वो कर रहा हूँ. But again, it has its own effect. If somebody is earning, he needs to give charity. The charity should be given not wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly and purposely 50%. 50%. Can you imagine Prabhupada's words? When Prabhupada speaks of chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead, we are convinced, oh, I'll just chant Hare Krishna, not follow any rules and regulations. Those which are conducive to our ego, to our thought process, we accept it very easily. But those things of instructions of Prabhupada which are not so easy for us to accept, Prabhuji, how it is possible? We'll go to a counselor or seniors. To 50%, how can I give? The counselor also sees you, understands you, or some Shiksha Guru understands you and tells, okay, बेचारा अभी बेचारा लटक गया है बीच में, ठीक है जो जितना हो सके दे दो, जितना हो सके दे दो, एडजस्टमेंट है. It's adjustment because we are attached. Understand, na? If in toto we follow Prabhupada books, we will be on the right path. Therefore, depends upon our own sincerity. Therefore, it is called as that is the reason Guru Maharaj says in his bhakti has to be practiced with sincerity, with no ulterior motive. Three things he says: no ulterior motive, sincerely, and for the pleasure of Krishna. That means ahituki apratiyata. Yes, next.
Then, as far as Dhamma, self-control is concerned, it is not only meant for other orders of religious society, but it is especially meant for the householder. Although he has a wife, a householder should not use his senses for sex life unnecessarily. There are restrictions for the householders even in sex life, which should only be engaged in the propagation of children. If he does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but is demoniac. If anyone, even if he is a householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget a children without the purpose of serving Krishna. If he is able to beget children who will be in Krishna consciousness, one can produce hundreds of children, but without his capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure.
Yeah, these are all connected. Dhanam, tamasya yadneshta. If one does dhanam, if one does dhanam appropriately, automatically he can see his mind will be purified. And if his mind is purified, then he will not see his wife as a object of enjoyment. Will see as she is also part and parcel of Krishna, and I'm supposed to respect her. Because till the time we don't respect ourselves, we can't respect others. So the whole root cause of exploitation is impure mind and senses. And why impure mind of senses? Because of impure actions. Therefore, Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam, one can see Krishna in the base of Bhagavatam if one has pure mind. But pure mind is possible when has pure actions. And pure action is possible when is pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That means first we should make our actions very pure. We should make the source of money which is there, that has to be purified. The money gets purified by sacrifice, by giving charity. And Prabhupada is writing in the last paragraph, charity has to be given for the propagation of Krishna conscious movement, that is in mode of goodness. So therefore, these are like steps. We can't just skip the steps, especially whether it is one is aspiring to become a brahmachari, one is aspiring to become a grahastha, whatever it is. These instructions of Prabhupada cannot be compromised. So therefore, uh, Shastras don't discourage association with woman for begetting children. But that association, before associating, one has to purify one's consciousness. And that consciousness purification, for the first step for a grahastha recommended is charity. If one does it very wholeheartedly, according to Yata Mati, Yata Shruti, according to his eligibility, according to his adhikar, next step is you'll see that his mind and senses gets purified. Another way of purifying one's mind is yajna, sacrifice. That is what Prabhupada speaks in the first paragraph. So even because any activity we do after we get a human form of life, it is having a heavy impact. It's a heavy responsibility because human form of life is a life of heavy responsibility. And therefore, as leaders, because everybody, especially when become a devotee, anybody who's in the human form of life, especially in the male species, they are leaders because people are dependent on them. Because he's going to become a husband, he's going to become a son. As a son, parents are dependent on him. As a husband, wife is dependent on him. As a father, children are dependent on him. So it's a heavy responsibility. And therefore, it's very important for us to very strictly follow small rules and regulations which are mentioned. Because we are not following Varnashram Dharma. And what is for us the true north principle is Polestar is Prabhupada books. So at least you should have that full faith in Prabhupada books, Prabhupada words, and try to follow it very strictly. Otherwise, what is the hope? There is no hope. Hmm? Next, somebody else can read charity, this yajna, sacrifice, because it's a long purport. Sacrifice.
Sacrifice is
Sacrifice.
another.
Yeah, one can read. We have very big purport, so one of you can read in rotation, no issues. One of you can volunteer.
Sacrifice is another item to be performed by the householders because sacrifices require a large amount of money. Those in other orders of life, namely Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, have no money. They live by begging. So, performance of different types of sacrifice is meant for householders. They should perform Agnihotra sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature. But such sacrifices at the present moment are very expensive, and it is not possible for any householder to perform them. The best sacrifice recommended in this age is called Sankirtan Yagya. The Sankirtan Yagya, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best and the most inexpensive sacrifice. Everyone can adopt it and derive benefit. So these three items, namely charity, sense control, and performance of sacrifice, are meant for the householder.
Yeah. So this is sacrifice. Again, Jiva Goswami writes in his commentary for Grihasthas, like with the way Prabhupada is mentioning here, Sankirtan Yajna, especially for those Grihasthas who are initiated and second initiated, they should have deities at their home and they should use their money which they have for the celebration of the festivals for their deities. And in that way, their mind can be soaked in Krishna consciousness because when they deal with the woman, when they deal with the children, when they deal with society, the absorption is, lot of absorption is in the bodily concept of life. And to come to that bodily concept of life, between there should be deities on which they can be focused, which where they can be, we can utilize all their energy for their for the benefit, engaging wife in deity worship, children in deity worship, parents in deity worship, the whole relatives is the whole relatives are protected around the deity worship. And what happens? It becomes a very, like we'll see in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Manu Maharaj, who is progenitor of the whole universe, his whole palace is rotating around the celebration of the festivals for the deities. And the day starts with the waking up of the Lord with Vedic chanting, which are Sankirtan for the Lord. And the day ends with Shayan Kirtan and is going. And what happens, Prabhupada writes there, the person, such a person, like Manu and everyone, when they sleep, they will dream about Krishna. Therefore, every day-to-day activity is centered on Krishna so much that when they are conscious, when they are awake, they are Krishna conscious. And when they sleep, they are Krishna conscious. So again, these are the recommendations. At least Prabhupada, at least in the Bhagavad Gita, because the preliminary book he's mentioning, Agnihotra sacrifices. Agnihotra sacrifice is nothing but it's a panch sacrifice. Sacrifice for the panch, Brahma, Bhuta, Jivat, other living entities who have no source of food. Deva Yajna, Pitra Yajna, Brahma Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, and Rishi Yajna. These are the four things which are mentioned where they offer the sacrifice for these five personalities so that they are purified of their existence. This is what Varnashram speaks about. But at present, it's very costly. But that doesn't mean that it's costly, therefore, we'll just keep our money in bank balance and just chant Hare Krishna. We should utilize, once we get initiated, second initiated, we should utilize that Lakshmi in Krishna's service for celebrating the festivals. Okay? Because these are, if you want to take shortcut, then we become responsible for our own life. So now the Grihastha's qualities are done. Next is Brahmachari's quality, Swadhyaya. And it's very small. Brahmachari's quality is very small because he just has to read the literature. Then he can gain the knowledge. Yes? Somebody quickly. Then Swadhyaya, Vedic study, is meant for Brahmacharya, our student life. Brahmachari should have no connection with woman. Brahmachari should have no connection with woman. They should live a life of celibacy and engage their mind in the study of Vedic literature for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is called Swadhyaya. What is the meaning of Swadhyaya? First thing, no connection with woman, by which they can be protected. There's no agitation. They're in goodness. And in that goodness, so no connection to woman, then they'll be, by default, they can live a life of celibacy. And that peaceful mind, they can engage in the study of Vedic literatures. They can gain knowledge. They can read Shastras. Means what is responsibility? What is their responsibility? What they are supposed to do? If they become future grihasthas, what they should do? Vanaprasthas, what they should do? As sannyasis, what they should do? Everything they ready from 5 to 20 years. With that knowledge, then they decide, should I become a grihastha? Should I become a brahmachari? Or should I become a lifelong brahmachari and take sannyas? Or should I become grihastha and then vanaprastha and sannyas? With that knowledge of Swadhyaya, then they decide what they should do in life. So without Vedic study, there is no question of taking decision in life. The decision is not taken by yet. Guru also sometimes he says, yes, you are this, you are that. But the brahmachari also has done the Swadhyaya and he understands his nature and then he goes and consults the Guru. And the Guru says, yes, this is what you can do. So it's both two sides, not one-sided. Okay, next is the quality of tapas. So therefore, because of most of all of us are brahmacharis, because we are not yet married, so our quality should be we should have a honest avoidance of opposite sex, and our mind should be absorbed in shastric study. That can give us tremendous spiritual advancement at our stage right now. Because once you become a grihastha, Right now, you have to just go to job and come. You earn more better when you are in the voice, when you're just studying, when you're second year. The time period when I read Shastras was my second year, third year, fourth year. I have never read Prabhupada books the way I read it when I was a student. Because just study your college studies and then come back and just dive deep into Prabhupada books, Leelamrit, Prabhupada's, all the biographies, all the Prabhupada purports. I still remember those days. I thought as a brahmacharya I'll come and read Prabhupada books, but most of the Prabhupada book reading was the time when I was a student in my college days. Mhm. Okay. Swadhyaya. That is about Swadhyaya. Therefore, all of you have time before you become Grasta. And even after you become a Grasta, it's not that Swadhyaya is okay, only on Brahmacharya they do Swadhyaya and after that, no. This will continue. But in Brahmacharya ashram time is the time when you should do this so that you can take major decisions of life based on this knowledge. Hmm? Yes, tapas.
Tapas or austerity is especially meant for the retired life. One should not
Retired life means
rem-
vanaprastha. After
one
Grahastha, the son is married and he's taking ready to take care of the mother, and then this person retires. He's preparing for sannyas. That is retired life. Yes.
one should not remain a householder throughout his whole life. He must always remember that there are four divisions of life: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanprastha, and sannyas. So after grihastha householder life, one should retire. If one lives for 100 years, he should spend 25 years in householder life, 25 in retired life, and 25 in the renounced order of life. These are the regulations of the Vedic religious discipline. A man retired from household life must practice austerities of the body, mind, and tongue. That is tapasya. The entire Varnashram Dharma society is meant for tapasya. Without tapasya or austerity, no human being can get liberation. The theory that there is no need of austerity in life, that one can go on speculating and everything will be nice, is recommended neither in the Vedic literature nor in Bhagavad Gita. Such theories are manufactured by show bottle spiritualists who are trying to gather more followers. If there are restrictions, rules, and regulations, people it all become attracted. Therefore, those who want followers in the name of religion just to have a show only don't restrict the lives of their students nor their own lives. But that method is not approved by the Vedas.
So basically, tapasya. Why for retired life? Because the Grahastha he has been dealing with, again, it's a natural. When you deal with a woman, by woman means luxury, comfort, emotional support, children, the small children. Again, when you deal with them, they're so cute. And the whole atmosphere, when the mother deals with the children, when the father deals with the children, it's a completely different intimacy. If one is pious, I'm not speaking about somebody is having impious. If impious, it's like only quarrel. But if somebody has followed very strict Varnashram principles for many generations, and if you go and visit their family and they're pious, then it's tough. Uh, once he's a family life, then it's difficult for him to become a brahmacharya sannyas because that much of emotional enjoyment is there in that family life. Mm. Husband is there, wife is there, children are there. The time before the time husband gets up, the wife is taken bath and she's cooking and she's making all the things ready. And the husband gets ready and he's doing his yajnas, and the children come and they are trying with their broken languages, they're coming and sitting next to father and all those things. It's a different aspect which is there in Varnashram. But right now, because people are not following the Varnashram, people are not pious. Therefore, it's a complete topsy-turvy. They're just broken families with harsh words, always quarrel, fighting, misunderstanding. All these things are happening, and which people think better don't become Grasta. But that is not traditional Grastashram. This is a Asuric Varnashram Grastashram, where person is getting a dry renunciation because of seeing such quarrels and fights at the family. Mhm. Therefore, again, traditional Varnashram, when a Grasta has to, at 50 years, he has to go to the Vanaprastha stage. It's not easy for him. It's tough. Therefore, tapasya is recommended for him so that he can come out of the detachment. But in Kali Yuga, it's a topsy-turvy thing. A son wants to become a brahmachari, a husband wants to become a vanaprastha because he's frustrated by seeing the whole atmosphere of the family. That is what they said true. Mm. There are only four kinds of people: frustrated, more frustrated, most frustrated, most frustrated. Therefore, everybody just wants to run away from their responsibilities. That is the issue. The renunciation is not coming because of responsibility. The renunciation is coming because of running away from the responsibility. Therefore, when we also decide something for our life, please try to consciously read Prabhupada books, evaluate yourself, and take decisions for your life. But because any decision taken momentarily, emotionally, we have to become responsible. Nobody will be responsible. We have to become responsible. That is it. Keep this always in your mind. Any decision we take. Then that what happens? Then we start getting educated. Then we start swadhyaya. Till the time we don't understand that we are responsible for our life, now Siksha Gurus or Diksha Gurus, they can guide us, they can help us, they can elevate us, they can become a source of inspiration. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for everything we do. That makes us that we take our Krishna consciousness very seriously, especially Swadhyay very seriously, getting educated in Krishna consciousness very seriously. This is about the Vanaprastha life. As far as the Brahmanical quality of simplicity. Next, please read somebody quickly. Arjavam.
As far as the Brahminical quality of simplicity is concerned, not only should a particular order of life follow this principle, but every member, be he is the brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, or sannyas ashram, one should be very simple and straightforward.
So this yes, Arjavam is also for especially for Vanaprasthas because of his while staying in Grihastha ashram, there is so much of politics, diplomacy he has to do for getting money. To get one daughter married, he has to tell lies. Son get married, one has to tell lies. So therefore, when it comes to Vanaprastha, then he has to learn this principle. Therefore, Prabhupada is writing not only for Vanaprastha, for all ashramas, this has to be followed. Yes, Ahimsa next.
Ahimsa means not arresting a progressive life of any living entity. One should not think that since the spirit spark is never killed, even after the killing of body, there is no harm in killing animal for the sense gratification. People are now addicted to eating animal in spite of having ample supply of grain, fruits, and milk. There is no necessity of animal killing. The injection of for everyone. When there is no alternative, one may kill animal, but it should be offered in sacrifice. At any rate, when there is a ample of food supply for the humanity, person who are desiring to make advancement in spiritual realization should not commit violence to animal. The real answer means not checking any progressive life. The animal are also making progress in their evolutionary life in transmigrating from one category of animal life to another. If the particular animal is killed, then his progress is checked. If an animal is staying in particular body for so many days or so many years, is ultimately killing, then he has to come back again in that form of life to complete the remaining days in order to promote it to another species of life. So their progress should not be checked simply to satisfy one's palate. This is called the ahimsa.
Okay, next Satyam, this is very clear. Yes.
Satyam, this word means that one should not distort the truth for some personal interest. In the Vedic literature, there are some difficult passages, but the meaning of the purpose should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master. That is the process of understanding the Vedas. Shruti means that one should hear from the authority. One should not construe some interpretations for his personal interest. There are so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita that misinterpret the original text. The real import of the word should be presented, and that should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master.
Mm. Satyam means basically what happens many times we manipulate the things, right? Because for our own interest, out of fear, out of insecurity, whatever it is, because we don't want to face the reality. So therefore, all these simple principles which we are reading is very vital for us before we practice Shuddh Bhakti. We strictly, we at least endeavor to follow these principles, 26 values which are being mentioned here, Satyam. Mm. Akrodha, yes.
Akrodha means to check anger. Even if there is provocation, one should be tolerant once for once be for once one become angry, his whole body becomes polluted. Anger is a product of the mode of passion and lust. So one who is transcendentally situated should check himself from anger. Aparishunam means that one should not find fault with others or correct them unnecessarily. Of course, to call a thief is not fault finding, but to call one honest person a thief is very much offensive for one who is making advancement in spiritual life. Re means that one should be very modest and must not perform some act which is abominable. Achapalam determination means that one should not be agitated or frustrated in some attempt. There may be failure in some attempt, but one should not be sorry for that. One should make progress with patience and determination.
Yeah, so here the three things are mentioned here: akrodha, anger. Generally, somebody is trying to be in goodness, especially those of us who are trying to go back and back to Godhead. Anger is in passion ignorance, and therefore it pollutes our body, it pollutes our consciousness, it pollutes our subtle mind. Therefore, it has to be checked. Apeshna matlab finding fault. Sometimes we are so judgmental because we are so much convinced about our judgments than a person's practice. We trust our own perceptions more than others' practice or integrity. Just because somebody we have egotism with someone, you just tag him. Arey, he has done this, he has done that. Just because I feel. You have any proof? We don't have any proof. Why? Because we are so insecure, we are so egoistic about him, there's egotism with him, therefore we just tag him. Prabhu, I think he might be doing this. Any proof? No proof. So therefore we have to be very, very careful in at least in devotee circle when we come. This apaishunam, trying to fall, trying to become judgmental, trying to name tag a person, especially when we are in a position where we have leadership position. Because why? Because of this, people can live up Krishna consciousness. They can really get frustrated, and and once they feel morose, they feel depressed, and within their heart also they feel, how can this person do like this with me? We have to pay the consequence. That karma is not going to leave us. We have to pay the price. So therefore, it's like in the name of Krishna consciousness, we can't be transcendental. First, we have to climb the steps. Then we can float in the sky of pure bhakti. Therefore, these are the steps which we have to follow. These are the principles, these are the rules and regulations. So, Vaishnava is something very deep. It's not cheap. Before we become a Vaishnava, we should first follow the principles of a civilized person. These are the 26 qualities of a civilized person which are being mentioned by Krishna here. And once we can follow this, we can see how becoming Vaishnava becomes so easy. Mhm. Otherwise, most of the time we just want what I'm reading, I'm chanting, I'm okay, that's it. What about dealing with others? Hell with it. Why you have to bother about it? But it's not like that. It's not like that. We are staying in a society of Vaishnavas. We have to have these qualities, and unless or otherwise we don't have these qualities, we are going to commit offenses, and those offenses are going to become obstacle for a practice of bhakti. So therefore, we have to become very, very conscious. We can't just take it for granted. This apeshunam is very, very important. We can't just criticize. We can't become judgmental. We can't just assume a person. Therefore, we have to give the benefit of doubt for him. Better clarify with him. Give that time for him. If you're not in a very responsive position or we are not in a very leadership position, better don't get into all those things. We can just focus on bhakti. If you want to help others, we can help others, but never went. Therefore, leadership position in a spiritual moment, it's a very dangerous thing. If you're not qualified, it's a double-edged sword. Rather than doing things, it can cut ourselves. So we have to become very, very conscious. That is the reason in olden days, before a person was made a king or he was getting married, they were sent to Gurukul so that they can be trained in all these principles. Okay? Yes. Achapalam matlab determination. So one should not be agitated or frustrated in some attempt. We may try, we may fail, we may try, we may fail. But fine, at least you have tried. So we should have that conviction. There is no loss. At least you have tried. Krishna has seen it. Same thing. Any activity you're preaching, when no results are coming, at least Krishna has seen it that you have preached and you purified. Krishna is Guru and pleased. The result might have not come, but at least the purification has happened and Lord is pleased, and our goal is to please the Lord. We are not going to take the whole voice of 20 people with us back to Godhead. We are not going to take lakhs and lakhs of money which you have collected for fund collection. We are not going to take the centers which you have built for Prabhupada's movement for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas in this moment for preaching. What we are going to take back home, back to God, is a consciousness of pleasing Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. So we have to be very, very conscious of that also. Look, we need to be fruitive because that is what our seniors have told us. But at the same time, we should never forget that our moment is a moment of consciousness. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We should never forget that. Those activities which are not bore fruits, results, it's not that they're waste. They have given us tremendous purification of consciousness. They have pleased Hari Guru Vaishnavas, and we should be convinced that Krishna and Guru have accepted it and Vaishnavas accepted it. Yes, next word, Tejas. Someone can read Teja.
The word Tejas is used here is meant for the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas should always be very strong to be able to give protection to the weak. They should not pose themselves as non-violent. If violence is required, they must exhibit it. But a person who is able to curb down his enemy may, under certain conditions, show forgiveness. He may excuse minor offenses.
Yeah, Teja means protection. So in our case, it's like we may not take a sword and all those things and protect somebody, but we get to see somebody around us, somebody is exploiting them, and we have that ability to help them with our words, with our actions, with our intelligence, with whatever yukti, samadama, bedadanda. If we can, we should do it. Because yes, if somebody is dependent on us, we should help them. If somebody we are obliged to somebody, we should try to help them. Try our best to help them. The best help is giving Krishna consciousness, distributing Prabhupada books, trying to bring them to the process of Krishna consciousness. Although we may not be Krishna conscious, but if somebody has given that opportunity to us, we should be also able to extend that opportunity to others. Next, Saucham.
Saucham means cleanliness, not only in mind and body, but in one's dealings also. It is specially meant for the mercantile people who should not deal in the black market. Nati manita. Not expecting honor applies to the Shudras, the worker class, which are considered, according to Vedic injunctions, to be the lowest of the four classes. They should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige or honor and should remain in their own status. It is the duty of the Shudras to offer respect to the higher class for the upkeep of the social order.
Social means when Vaishyas they bring some product for 1 rupee and they sell it for 10 rupees. And they tell, no, because you are so dear to me, so I'm not making any profit for you, therefore I'm giving it at 10 rupee for you. They say tell it to everyone. So therefore they have to be very clean. It's not instead of 1 rupee, I can collect 5 rupee. But not that 10 times, 20 times, 30 times they start collecting just because they're getting money. They need to have some profit. If 1 rupee is there, you have 5 rupee or whatever needed, but not more than what is expected. What is their market? Everybody sets some standard, set it, but not beyond some extreme margin. And Nati Manita means yes, when we serve Guru, it's mentioned here Shudras, but anybody who's in a menial service when we do, we should not have any honor for that service which is being done. A disciple may do menial service for a Guru, a student may do it for his teacher, A son may do it for his parents, but one should not expect any honor from that things. Yes, all these 26 qualifications mentioned are transcendental qualities. They should be cultivated according to the different status of social and occupational order. The purport is that even though material conditions are miserable, if these qualities are developed by practice by all classes of men, then gradually it is possible to rise to the highest platform of transcendental realization. So this is what is a Falashruti. What Prabhupada is writing, although the material world is miserable, but if we can try to develop these qualities, one can gradually rise to highest platform of transcendental realization. Okay, so this is discussion on this Daivism. So again, Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, right? I think Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, yeah. They are sannyasis have abhayam, free from the fear of how he will survive alone without any work. He has purity of mind, sattva shuddhi. He has full knowledge, jnana yoga vasiti. The three characters, householders, dana, dhamma, yajna. The householders offer food and other items owned by himself, earned by proper methods. Then brahmachari is engaged in study of swadhyaya called Brahma Yajna. He is fixed in studying Vedas, which are a group of sounds not created by men, which brings about realization of the Lord, endowed with energies. This is the only quality of a brahmachari. He is fixed in studying the Vedas, which are a group of sounds. So there are a set of books meant for different ashramas. So he studies, brahmachari studies this particular books. Vanaprastha Tapa is mentioned here. Again, according this is Varna. Ashrama is over now. The Varna is mentioned. The Brahman has to cultivate all this quality like Arajavam, Ahimsa, Satya, Akrodha, Tyaga, Shanti, Apaishunam, Daya, Alolupa, Mardava, Ri, Achapala, Kshatriya should have Teja, Shama, Dhriti, and then Vaishya should develop Saucha and Adroha. He should not take weapons. And the Shudra na atimanitaha. So for different these are understood to be the principal qualities of the ashramas and varnas. It means for ashramas we discussed, and then for varnas there are different qualities. Okay. Those qualities which are not mentioned here should be also be included. The list is not exhaustive. These qualities appear in a person born with auspicious impressions, Devi Sampat, manifested through pious acts, which show their fruits at the time of accepting a body. Punya punyena karmana bhavati papa papena. Becomes pure by pure karmas, bad by bad karmas. That is the reason I told, giving charity. So therefore, we have to become pure in our activities. Become pure on activities that will reinforce pure consciousness, pure thoughts. This sampata wealth is possessed by devas, those who respect the Lord, because from this position a person has the possibility of attaining jnana and bhakti. It is excellent fruit of the tree of samsara. So we saw the perverted tree. This is excellent fruit of that. These are qualities, developing qualities. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmani Yogasthini, Shunichaiva Subhakecha, Pandit Samadarshi. So after describing the qualities, Devi qualities, now Lord describes the Asuri qualities. So what are the Asuri qualities? We'll see now. The khatta, bitter fruits of the tree of samsara. Dambodharpa vimanasya krodha paryushamevacha ajnanam cha bijatasya partha sampadamasurim. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pruta. Yes, purport. Someone can read this purport in this verse. Prabhupada starts the purport with amazing analogy.
In this
In this
verse,
verse,
the
in this
royal
verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demoniac want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They are always arrogant or proud in possessing some type of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles, they may become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demoniac qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers. And as they grow, they manifest all inauspicious qualities.
So Abhijatasya. So the shloka what is mentioning? Ajnanam cha abhijatasya partha sampadam ashurim. It's coming from the past life. So what are this royal road to hell? Prabhupada says first. Royal road to hell. Why royal road to hell? They may seem very opulent. They may seem going in flights. They may seem very sophisticated. They may seem following all etiquettes. They may come and sit on the dining table and they may be eating beef. Or they may be enjoying anything, whether it's woman, wine, wealth, all those things. But they are always arrogant, proud, possessing some type of education or so much wealth. We want to be worshipped, demand respectability, not command respect. Trifles, they become very angry. Small trifles, they become very angry and speak harshly. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. Everything whimsically, according to their own desire. Acha laga acha, bura laga bura. These demonic qualities are taken by them from the beginning of their bodies in the wombs of their mothers. Look, what is meaning of womb of their mother? It means from past previous lives. And as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities because whatever actions we have done in the past life, that particular womb we get attracted to. You have done something pious, you get attracted to pious womb. We get attracted, if you have done some impious activity, get attracted to the impious womb. So therefore, we should not blame our parents for what they're doing with us. We are responsible for everything. And we need to take responsibility for that. And time is not yet late. At least let us start practicing austerity, bhakti from right now. So let us not give reasons for not practicing bhakti seriously. It will be tough. We'll have to do double. We have to put double energy compared to those people who have done pious activities or who are having sukritis. But what we could not do in the past life, like somebody has not done homework from last 1 week, then in this week he has to do homework of last week also and this week also. That doesn't mean that he become, oh, it's not working for me. Krishna consciousness is not working for me. That is not the reason. For some people who have done those activities in the past, bhakti may become very easy in this life. But for those who are not done, it may become a little tough. But what is the difference? What is the goal of our life? Our goal of life is purification of our existence. So whatever it may take for us to purify our heart in this life, we should do it. Whether putting double effort, whatever it is, we should try to do it. Otherwise, what is a hope for us? What we want to do in our life when we leave the body? But that doesn't mean that we compromise our eating, sleeping, and all those activities. We accept ourselves and whatever best we can try to do, put our best effort in practice of bhakti so that we can purify our heart. Okay? So we'll go to the next verse. Yeah, Chakruppa says Dhamma means to announce oneself as religious even though one has sinful nature. Darpa means pride due to wealth. Abhimana means to desire respect from others or attachment to wife, sons, or other things. People you see many times you tell something about their wife or children, they become, hey, no, 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 my son is like that, my wife is like that. Krodha means anger. Parushya means cruelty. Parushya. Adhyana means lack of discrimination. There are all qualities of Asura which indicate other types of beings such as Rakshasas as well. These qualities belong to the person born at the moment, indicating attainment of Rajsika Tamasic qualities. So, Bhallavidyabhushan. The Lord now speaks of qualities of Asura which cause hellish existence in one verse. Damba, Darpa, Krodha, Parusha. Using rough language in front of others, Parusha, cruelty. Cha indicates all the qualities opposite to those mentioned in the previous verse, such as Chapala, having useless actions. Thus, the Asura Sampada includes such qualities as Himsa, Asatya, Atyaga, Ashanti, Apaishunum, Loluktava. Ajnana means devoid of intelligence and discriminate between what is proper and what is not proper in conduct, improper conduct. The word Cha indicates the qualities such as Adriti and those following from the previous list, Saucham, Droha, Atimanita. These qualities appear in the person born with inauspicious impressions. Asuri Sampat, which manifest from sinful actions and which bear fruits at the time of taking body. The Shruti says, Papa Pape, a sinful person is born through sinful acts. So we'll see this next verse and we'll try to conclude. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandha asurimata ma sucha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. So Krishna is giving some empathy to Arjuna now. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. So Krishna is giving such empathy. Oh, Arjuna, oh Pandava, don't worry, you are demonic because you're going to kill now. Don't think that because you're going to kill your own relatives, you're asuric because you may think you are cruel, Paurusha. No, you are divine. It's Dharma Yuddha, he'll have to kill. That is why Krishna is giving that empathy to him. He's understanding his mind and telling him, assuring. This is what is needed when we are in a vulnerable position. We need some superiors. We need someone senior to us who can tell you're not on a wrong track. You're on the right track. Don't worry. Go ahead. That gives us such hope. Lord Krishna encouraged Arjuna by telling him that he was not born with the demonic qualities. His involvement in the fight was not demonic. Because he was considering the pros and cons. He was considering whether respectable persons as Bhishma and Drona should be killed or not. So he was not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige, or harshness. Therefore, he was not of the quality of demons. For a Kshatriya military man, shooting arrows at the enemy is considered transcendental. Refraining from such a duty is demonic. Therefore, there was no cause for Arjuna to lament. Anyone who performs the regulative principles of the different orders of the life is transcendentally situated. Chakravarti, it appears that I have asuric traits which will lead to bondage in samsara, since I desire to kill enemies, shooting arrows, and thus filled with cruelty and anger. To comfort Arjuna, was thus worried, the Lord speaks, don't worry, you are born with Devi qualities, O Pandava. For one who is born in Kshatriya family, anger and cruelty during war are prescribed by scripture. To do otherwise would make you of asuric nature, possessing violence and other bad qualities. Okay. So it's already 8:12 now. We'll just conclude here. So, we have discussed, I think, 5 verses. Asuri Samkat. 4, 5. Destiny of divine and demonic. The divine are conducive for liberation and demonic are conducive for bondage. Okay, from 6 onwards, both the descriptions will come. So any questions you have? Good questions? Our thoughts? Are some clarifications? Or comments of what we have seen till now? Okay. So first 3 verses we discussed about Varna Ashram qualities, 26 qualities. The 4th verse we spoke about the demonic quality. And 5th verse we spoke about how Krishna is empathizing Arjuna. That you are not Asurik, you are Devik. So Prabhupada ki. Yeah. Thank you. We'll meet again next week, next Wednesday.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
Guruji, I have just one question that we discuss a chapalam, na? We should not frustrate in one attempt or we can try. But there is like atyara prayas is there, na? So extra endeavor. So it is contradictory or just
Yeah. Achapalam, determination and atyahara are prayas. You are speaking of prayas. What is the difference? Yeah, this is a very delicate, what do you say, line. Prayasa makes us burnt out. Prayasa is for those things which give us titillation of sense enjoyment, like money, name, fame, all those things which we are enduring and we are not getting it and we are not convinced it and we want to have it, which is beyond our karma. The luxury, comfort, or something. And what is Achapalam determination means? Determination to do something which is goodness activities, something which is spiritual activities, like getting up in the morning, chanting the holy names, reading Prabhupada books, or doing activities which purify our heart. There we need Achapalam determination, which will purify us. So this is what it is. So prayasa is for those activities which is beyond our karma, We are doing it, we are not getting it, we are getting burnt out, we are getting dried, and we are lost. And Achapalam is for activities which can give us, nourish us, which are activities which can purify heart consciousness. They are Achapalam. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.